I told you we had a triangle coming in tonight. Didn't I tell y'all? Wait a minute, Mike. I think I'm doing. I think you know I'm doing it kind of wrong here. Hold on. Let me do this right. All right, people. What's going on, people? As you already know, this is your man, the debonair DJ K Styles in the building. Guess what? We got not one, not two, all three members of the Heavy Hitters. As I am your man, six man K Styles. To my stage left, that is the mad scientist, Mad Mike Sports. And today is Tuesday. But guess what? We got down here at the bottom, we have the minister, Jew Talk Sports. And this is your Tuesday, well, not Tuesday, special edition of not the Heavy Hitters with two E's. I don't want to make the comparison because I can't stand that mud, but we just don't say it. But you already know what we got to do here. We always got to give them that 3-letter words. We got to give them that
real roll
call. And the roll call going in today, we're going to give it to Marwin Johnson. We got Ted Sports and Gaming. We got D. Sloan. We got Joseph Thornton, Aunt J, John Rozier. We have the professor in the building, Mr. Noah Tendell. Y'all make sure y'all show him some love on his channel. We got Floyd Donnelly, Vlad Tepes. That's another one of our player partners there as well. We got Bubba Gump, Michael Walker. Not that Michael Walker. And let's get a couple more names in here. We got Raymond Elder, D. Coleman, Black Heart, Isaac Crime, Trauma Locks. We got Ultra Shadow 97. We got one of our OG subscribers here, Ephraim Jones, Sean the RC Mechanic. We got Teacher Red in the building.
I gotta behave. All right, let me get the
hold on, we done.
Malcolm exposed. I'm about to get Malcolm exposed.
I know about teachers and homework and rulers. Nah, we good.
No, I'm good with that.
But let's go ahead and get this thing started tonight, man, as we always do it here, man. Any one of y'all got what's on y'all minds, man? How y'all want to kick this thing off?
Whatever you want to do.
Hey, man. Let's go on. Let's go ahead, Mike. What you got?
I got a lot to talk about, but I put a bunch of ideas in the chat. I'm kind of go back to it, and oh man, come on, stupid thing.
Wow. Why he going down there?
I got two phones, and both of them want to act slow now. What? See, this is the reason why 5G is a piece of crap. Okay.
See, this is why we should have been sticking with smoke signals and carrier pigeons. That's what we should have been doing.
Okay. I want to talk about, what we was referring to, Jude, in the we got a number of ones. We got the predictions. We got the offense, defense, special teams, MVP, the numbers on rushing and comeback players, a player on each team that you kind of the player on the team, and we can do the NFC South, and we just keep the Atlanta Falcons, but we got a number of topics here that to kind of choose from. But let's start with this one. Because this is one that Jude was talking about. And we're going to give it a hot seat. We're going to put some people on the hot seat. I think it's time for the heavy hitters to get on the hot seat. And Me personally, if you haven't checked the video out, I had a guy and that I thought needed to step up. And this particular person, although he is young and he's, I think he definitely has potential. He comes from Jew's favorite team, the Auburn Tigers, the War Eagles, whatever you want to call them. How the hell they got two damn? That's what I want to
Two
know.
mascots.
How
you get two
yeah.
mascots? Well, now I can't say nothing because Tech got two mascots.
Yeah, the rambling Rick.
We got a stagecoach and a bee.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. But we're gonna put some people on the hot seat. We're gonna put some people on the hot seat, and the first one I want to explain the reason why I said Marlon Davidson before I kind of get to for you guys. The reason why I think it's paramount that the Falcons is paramount, is essential. It's top priority before the running game and even the offensive line for me. Because I'm sick and tired of not having a defense. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of not having them passing a defense that can get after the quarterback. I'm tired of seeing the John Abraham show. I'm tired of seeing the Grady Jarrett show. I need for guys to step up. No more excuses. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, he's hurt. He had COVID. Look, I don't care. The games that you are playing, I need for you to make it. I need you to make a spot. I need you to make sure that when teams come, they know they got to deal with Grady Jarrett and they got to deal with Marlon Davidson. So I think Marlon Davidson, outside of Grady Jarrett, this guy has it all. He's a Grady Jarrett clone in my opinion. He can play in, he can play both defensive tackle positions. He can play 3-4-1-0. He can do all that. The dude he's that talented. So for me, I can deal with injuries, a little nagging, an ankle sprain here and there, but I need for him to finally show what he can do, because we saw what he can do against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, the dude is a defensive tackle getting a pick six off of Tom Brady. So we know he has the instinct. So for me, I need to see Marlon Davidson step up and to be the guy that we all know that he can be.
Oh man, what you got on that, Jew? Well, who's your hot seat Falcon this season?
It's gonna be a surprise to you guys. Marlon Davidson, yeah, what Mike said, because I know what he did at Auburn, and he did a lot of talking in the draft. I don't know if you guys remember, if you go back and watch him prior to the draft, his pre-draft talk before the Falcons even drafted him. He talked about putting hands on people, not going to jail for it, and all this extra stuff. Similar to Pat McKinley screaming, get after the quarterback and holding a picture of his grandmother and all of that, and then didn't do nothing. So with that being said, the person that the player I think that has to step up this year is Quadre Olison. I know that's a name that a lot of people ain't really, been paying attention to, because the running back room right now is loaded. But he's a guy that was in the last regime. I feel like a lot of these players that was drafted in the last regime, you got a target on your back. Like we seen, they clean the house. John Kaminsky's gone last year. Jacob Tuioti-Mariner. Pretty much all of the guys that was here with Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn are pretty much gone. Route 96, all of them guys is gone. So Quadre Olison, at this point, it's like, what is he? Like, I feel like when you get on the field, you got to dominate in where they won't take you off the field. For whatever reason, it seems like he gets a chance, but he really doesn't. He hasn't seized his opportunity. Let me say it like that. Similar to like a Terrell Davis. You guys remember Terrell Davis from the Broncos, Hall of Famer. When he got his opportunity, he took it and ran with it. And that's what you got to do as a player. Tom Brady, when Drew Bledsoe went down, he made sure Drew Bledsoe wasn't getting his job back. And that's what you got to do. So I feel like the same thing with Quadre Olison. I don't feel like he's gotten a fair shake necessarily, but it's something that they're not seeing in practice. I know Mike had mentioned one time, I think in one of our shows, that they were saying he didn't he really didn't understand blitz pickup and being able to protect the quarterback and stuff like that on third down. So that was a reason why he kind of wasn't playing. But to me, he's a guy that fits this mold perfect. Like, yeah, we did bring in Tyler Algier, but I feel like Quadra Olesen is that same build, and he's that running back that Arthur Smith likes. He's physical, he runs downhill, and when he gets his opportunities, he plays pretty well. It's just like he doesn't dominate, and he has to dominate. Like when you touch the ball, you got to show them something, like to prove to them that I belong. Because of course, the guys that they drafted, even though it's competition, we all know you're gonna really stick or favor the guys that you drafted. So being that he's kind of the black sheep now because he's not a part of this regime, the last 2 years of the guys that they drafted, you got to prove to them that you belong. So at this point, I feel like Quadra Olesen is the guy that I'm really watching. I want him to show out in training camp. I want him to show out in preseason and prove that he can be a starting running back. Because really, I think he could be a starting running back. Don't let no rookie come in here, Tyler Algier, when you've been in the league, 3-4 years now, and mainly not even dressing in most of these games. Like, you got to show your stuff, man. You got to come out here and be that downhill. Because to me, he should have been able to take Mike Davis's job. Like, we keep complaining about, the weight that Cordell Patterson had to bear last year. But really, that's an indictment on all of the other guys that's in that running back room that, for whatever reason, Arthur Smith didn't trust him. So to me, Olesen got to be that guy that I think has the talent, but he has to prove to this coaching staff that he belongs.
Oh man. Hey, and also shouts out to J Rock in the damn chat, man. Hey man, appreciate it. The Lord of the Discord is in here. So yes, we definitely appreciate him. Hopefully we get him back on here pretty soon as well. But man, y'all hit some good ones. Marlon Davidson, Quadri Olsen. This is kind of tough one because I got a couple players in mind, but I'm finna go with the glaring one. The most glaring one for me, who's on the hot seat, is Matt Hennessy. Yeah, because essentially what has plagued this team for the last couple years is that center position. Once Alex Mack left, that center position has been real shaky. Now, we know Hennessy is a Smithers and Gilbert guy. We know Hennessy is that. And you got Dahlman, who is Arthur Smith, Terry Fontenot guy. Now, they've played both of them last year, and from what we saw, it was really no difference in either one. They both looked very, very shaky. And I feel like in order for this offense, in order to get this run game on point, that center position has to be solidified. Matt Hennessy has to step up. He has to take it to the next step. You ain't got Matt Ryan behind you no more. You got Mariota behind you who knows Arthur Smith, but as far as you got Mayfield on one side, you got Lindstrom on the other side. Mayfield is trying to get into his own. And as the center, and Jew, you know this, Mike, you know this, the center position is pretty much the quarterback's extension of the quarterback. And if the center can't pick up nothing, can't see nothing, can't make no adjustments and help his fellow guys, then the offensive line plays bad, which means there's no protection, no running game. The Falcons desperately needs to run the ball. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They got to run the ball. And that center position is very key to that. So Matt Hennessy is on a hot seats. So That's the end of my take right there. That's all I gotta say. Cause that motherfucker make me drink Hennessy every time I see him try to pass block. But I see a lot of people in here talking about Hennessy, Caleb McGarry. Actually, there's mostly been offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, we all know. I think McGarry know his job on the line. Like when they bring in Fetty, they bring in like all these guys to compete with you. You know the writing's on the wall. Now, McGarry look like he got on some steroids or something this offseason.
Boy, that bug cut, boy.
He finna get random drug tested the first week. I just hope everything on the up and up. But I think with Hennessy, I mean, with McGarry, it's technique really. I don't think that he's a bad player. Like everybody keeps talking about McGarry. I'm not really worried about Caleb McGarry. I think it's all technique with him. I don't think that it's really like strength. He has a strength, but we've seen in this rookie season when we went up against the Saints, he pretty much controlled Cam Jordan. So he's a good player. I just think it's all mental and technique with him.
Right.
I'm not really worried about it.
And Noah here actually hit an interesting point too. He actually was in the same ballpark as you, but he said Cordero Patterson may be on the hot seat. And you know the crazy thing about that is, I did a video on the running backs, and I brought up Cordero Patterson too. See, this is why I told y'all Noah is the lighter version of me, because this is some shit that I was thinking about too. But when he talking about in a good way, it's essentially, and I'm finna just guess on why he say it's in a good way. It's to limit the carries on him. It's to he don't need, like I said, Cordero Patterson does not need to be running the ball 15, 20 times a damn game. He big, but he's still a wide receiver. Wide receivers don't take hits like running backs. And he's older too. And you got Avery Williams in that backfield room now. There's gonna be some limited carries for him, but that's gonna be a good thing for him, though. Now, hey, Noah, just make sure that the ballpark you was going for, because his mind works just like mine. But what do y'all think about that? Y'all think not so much of hot seat, but you feel like this is just one of those things for Cordero Patterson where they're trying to limit him on the carries and the hits?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to get their money's worth. Like, we gave him that new contract, so it was smart to bring in more players. Like last year, let's be real, it was the Kyle Pitts show and the Cordero Patterson show. So a lot of the times, I think fans get it twisted. They think that players' numbers are going to drop when you bring in more talent, but that actually helps you out when you play with better talent. And we can change it over a little bit to basketball. Look at a guy like KD when he went to play with the Warriors. Like, yeah, he was great with the Thunder, but when you put him with Steph, Clay, now you can't double team him. You see what I'm saying? When he was with OKC, you can double, triple team. But when you got better players around you, when you got Clay, when you got Steph that you can't leave, that made KD's life a lot more, a lot easier. So I feel like the same thing with Cordero Patterson. Every time Cordero Patterson gets in the game, if he runs out on the field last season, all eyes were on him. I don't care what position you were, a safety, corner, linebacker, everybody was watching number 84 and number 8. That's it. Everybody else, we can lead them one-on-one. They can't be pressed. We're not worried about the kids. We're not worried. Even Russell Gage, no disrespect to Russell Gage. Yeah, he made big plays last year, but the reason he was able to make those plays was because of a Kyle Pitts and because of a Cordero Patterson. Everybody was focusing in on them. Those spectacular catches that we seen Russell Gage make, he was one-on-one pretty much every single play. So he did what he was supposed to do, beat one-on-one coverage. But other than that, I mean, I think the more weapons you have, the better and easier you make it for Kyle Pitts. It's a reason why Kyle Pitts had 1 touchdown last year. And I talked about this in my video I just did on Kyle Pitts, is you bringing in a complimentary player and Mike's talked about this as well when we had Muhammad Sanu. When you bring in that complimentary wide receiver, it only makes the number one wide receiver's job that much easier because it takes the burden off of them. So this year, Kyle Pitts is not going to see triple teams and double teams as much because if you your boy start cooking on the other end, Drake London starts to cook, and he's exposing whoever's covering him, that number 2 corner, or exposing that slot corner, you have to start bracketing him. And then at that point, that opens up everything for Cordero Patterson, opens up everything for Kyle Pitts. So I feel like the more talent you have, the better.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of going to this Cordero Patterson thing. Do you kind of feel like I'm gonna ask you? Was Cordero Patterson's success based on his skill set or the fact that Kyle Pitts got all the respect?
That's a good question. I think the reason why I'm hesitating is because you have a guy like Kyle Pitts, like you just don't know what he is, so a team defense is kind of hesitant, but because they're trying to figure out, is he a wide receiver, is he a tight end, and they kind of experiment on defense. Like now they know what he is, and quite frankly, Cordero Patterson can take advantage of that split-second decision with that uncertainty. Because again, like you don't know, because the Kyle Pitts, we saw that Bill Belichick, it was the Carolina Panthers. Like they knew they couldn't put a safety. They knew they couldn't put their second and third corners on him. They knew they couldn't put a linebacker on him. So what they did, they just shouted him with Stephon Gilmore the entire game. So you kind of saw what they did, but it was over time. So during time, and which goes into what Noah was saying about Cordero Patterson being on the hot seat. I'm assuming that's what he was saying, and being on the hot seat, that allows a guy like Cordero Patterson, who has that breakaway speed and that ability to take it to the house at any given time. So I think it kind of worked well together, and that's what Jude was talking about having guys that, a multitude of talent, because now like with Julio Jones and Muhammad Sanu, like you knew that you couldn't sit back and just press these guys, because Muhammad Sanu, he's going to destroy that press. He's very good at getting off the ball and just bullying defensive backs. Like that's his strength. That's Julio Jones' strength on top of the speed. So when you got those guys that you can't easily just put one guy on it, you can't easily stop Cordero Patterson with a linebacker. You can't, because he's gonna outrun the linebacker. He's too big for smaller DBs. And like JT was saying last night, it's like most of these DBs are like 5'10", 180, 190 pounds. That's the average height and size of DBs in the league now. So you got that. Like I think it's just a perfect match. I think like it's like water. Those guys are just like water. They are able to adapt to any type, and that's what Cordero Patterson and Pitts are. I think they're the perfect match, to be honest. And I think that was one of the main reasons why you brought in Alden Tate, you brought in a Drake London, because who's ever able to physically win their matchup during the course of a game, that's who he's gonna take advantage of. He's in it just looking for those mismatches. Who can I physically dominate in that secondary, in that linebacking core? And that's the thing that a lot of people are underestimating with Arthur Smith. He's just looking for a matchup that he can exploit. That was the main reason why. Again, I know this long-winded. I got a little Jew in me today, but that's kind of the reason why. That's the reason why you saw him with one touchdown last year, because he didn't have many matchups. So all teams did was, hey, we're just gonna double, triple. We're just gonna double and triple Kyle Pitts.
Man, that's what happened. That's what happened when you got putty on the outside that can't get open. That's what happens.
Buddy,
That shit is
Said
putty,
putty.
boy. I was gonna say midgets, but I like they could be midgets too, but they were putty. They couldn't do nothing. They were stuck. But let's go ahead and get to the next one, man. We gonna talk about the expectations for the Falcons this upseason. How do y'all feel about where the running game can improve, how the running game can improve, and what it does for this offense, and what players can impact this defense to make it better? I'm gonna let you go ahead, kick it off with that.
I think the running game will improve just off the mere fact that you have a mobile quarterback. Like, I think a lot of people are sleeping on whether it's Desmond Ridder, whether it's Marcus Mariota. Just go look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year. They were the number one rushing team in the league. And a lot of it had to do with, they have a great offensive line. Philadelphia has one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. But they had Jalen Hurts, who was basically helping the running backs as well. Like, not only was the running backs, Miles Sanders and the guys that they had running the ball well, but then you had to add that extra layer of a guy like Jalen Hurts that can pull the ball in those RPOs and take off running. So I think with a guy like Marcus Mariota, I think a lot of people forget how athletic he is and how explosive he is. Go look at him when he was in Tennessee. He had games where I seen 50-yard touchdown runs. Like, you pull the ball, you got daylight in front of you, and he hits it. Like I said, and I said this in one of my videos. I think it was in the Kyle Pitts video. I talked about how Matt Ryan, yes, he can run. He can get you 5-6 yards here and there, but that's not his game. Like, he's not going to kill you with his legs. Marcus Mariota can run for 100 yards in the game like a running back. Mm-hmm. Same thing with a guy like Jalen Hurts. We know that firsthand last season in that first game against Philadelphia last year at home. What did Dean Pease talk about after that game? We didn't stick to our assignments. We let him get outside the pocket. All the stuff we went over during the week, we allowed him to get outside, and that's how he hurt us. Same thing with Marcus Mariota. Even if our line is not improved, which I think it will be improved just because you have guys going in their second year. This team had a chance, the offensive line had a chance to gel last season. Even if those guys really don't improve, in the running game, if you're just strictly running RPO, the defensive end or that outside linebacker has to make a decision. And do I tackle the running back or do I get Marcus Mariota? Like, everybody has an assignment. So it makes your job a lot harder as a defense to basically focus on who has the ball. We talked about misdirection last season with those with those reverses and things of that nature. I think this year you're going to see a lot of that. And that's why they brought in the guys that they brought in, like Demir Bird. He's a guy who can do those type of reverses and trick plays and things of that nature. That's things I think we're going to see this year. And with Marcus Mariota back there, when he's a true dual threat, I think it makes it a lot harder for defenses to cue in on what you're doing. With Matt Ryan, and y'all talked about this last night with JT, you pretty much know what Matt Ryan's going to be. He's not scrambling to run. He's scrambling to look down the field. And when nobody's getting open, that's some of the reasons why Matt Ryan took sacks, because he's not going to just take off and run on the third down necessarily, this 3rd and 10, because he don't think he can get to the sticks. But a guy like Marcus Mariota, you in man coverage and everybody turns their back to him, he's going to bolt out the pocket and go get that first down. That's going to be his first mind. He going to look. If it ain't there, he going to take off because that's just his mindset. He's an athlete first. Matt Ryan was a guy that I'm going to look to throw this ball at all costs. And then if it comes down to it, I'll take off and run. But he's more reluctant to do that. And I think that that's going to put a lot of, and we know this firsthand because we struggle against mobile quarterbacks. Now we're going to give a lot of these teams a taste of their own medicine, that they're going to realize how hard it is to contain a guy that's mobile. And I talked about it in my last video I did as well. It's like, it's not the first play, as they say with Russell Wilson. It's that second play where it becomes backyard football. He's back there scrambling around. And now he's breaking contain. The cornerbacks don't know, should I go after him? Because now he's broke contain on the defensive line. And now he's running up the field. I don't know whether to come back and get him or go and get the wide receiver. Because a lot of times, if you look at the big plays that Russell Wilson makes, it's when he's scrambling around, nobody's open, he takes off like he's looking like he's going to run. The corners, now they have eyes on him, and now his receiver then bolted up the field, whether it's Lockett or whether it's DK Metcalf, they just snuck behind the defense, and that's when he gets those 50-yard, 60-yard pass plays. So I think it'll be the same exact thing with a guy like Mariota, and I think that's another reason why they wanted those bigger wide receivers, because the pass doesn't have to be perfect. If he's throwing a 50-yard bomb, trust me, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, they gonna win that matchup 9 times out of 10. So I really think that this defense is going to be hard. I mean, this offense is going to be hard to stop because you have two quarterbacks that are mobile, and mobile quarterbacks are a headache.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I know y'all caught me laughing here, but Devontae, like I said, we still trying to figure out what the hell is backup quarterback energy. This is the most ass backwards damn comment I've heard this year.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was a such thing as backup quarterback and starting quarterback energy. You win the job, you win the job.
That's it. And all the people that saying Desmond Ridder was a winner, he was a winner in college. But Marcus Mariota, if you go look at his stats when he was at Oregon, he was a winner as well in college. That's another thing I've been getting a lot of people been saying. Well, Desmond Ridder is a winner. Go look at former Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota's college highlights. Go look at what he did in college. He was one of those guys who was leading his team to national championship games and playoff games as well. So, and I'm not hating. Like everybody thinks because I talk about Marcus Mariota that I dislike Desmond Ridder. I think Desmond Ridder has a fair opportunity to be the starter. But either one of those guys, like I was talking about being mobile, Ridder is mobile as well. So you're gonna have hell on your hands with both of those guys.
And you know what? I just thought about something. And it kind of comes back to where this disconnect between this Mariota and Ridder thing on if Ridder doesn't win the starting job, then he's a failure and stuff like that. I think it kind of comes from the fact that we as Falcon fans, there's a portion of us Falcon fans that are not used to that process of building a quarterback up.
Say that again, K-Styles. That was good right here.
Well, and for the people in the back that don't know what I'm saying is, I think a lot of our fan base is not used to the process of developing a quarterback because we're so used to getting a quarterback and him starting right away, knowing that he's the starter.
Him immediately making an impact. That's the same thing with Vic. He made an immediate impact. Right. Matt Ryan made an immediate impact. I mean, he threw a touchdown on his first pass. So, man.
So
yeah.
So this is where a lot of this I don't want to say hatred. I'm gonna say this is where a lot of this resentment is with the Desmond Ridder, because this is not a situation where you know that he's the immediate starter. See, because he's not pegged to be the immediate starter. Well, no, we know the other main reason why, but I'm just going off of this point right here. I'm going off of this point. But the fact that he's not pegged as the immediate starter, people have already doubted him. It don't always work like that, people. Go ahead.
I want to mention something that's got to put this in perspective. The Niners are trying so hard right now to make sure, like, Trey Lance is developing. Bro, they brought in Steve Young to mentor this guy. And everybody was talking about, like I love JT to death, but please don't ever say that Kyle Shanahan is a quarterback guru or he made quarterbacks better. No, he made he made certain. I would say this: he made guys that were not going to be that were not going to play a lot of downs for any other team. He made those guys look good. All right. But when we talk about making a guy like Matt Ryan better, I can't necessarily say that because that was the case, because Matt Ryan, the year after, I mean, you go back and look at 2012. I mean, his numbers in 2012 was damn near identical. he got no respect for that. His numbers in 2012, I think, like I did numbers on that in that year. I think he was like a 200 yards away, I think it's like 5 touchdowns away, and they threw like 3 or 4 more interceptions that he did in 16. But his number was damn near identical from 2012 to his MVP season, and then the year after that, in my opinion, I thought he had a better year. The following year with Steve Sarkisian, and Steve Sarkisian ended up getting fired. So to say that he is that guy, like I just don't believe that. But I'm saying that to say, I say that to say this, is that sometimes it takes quarterbacks time to figure out who they are. Aaron Rodgers had 3 years to sit back and watch a legend. He had 3 years to sit back and watch him. Mm-hmm. And we want these guys to sit back and just, all right, and get it immediately. Warren Moon was in the U.S. I don't even know what the hell even the name of the league.
USFL, the old USFL.
Like he got his start there. So he came to the NFL and still had over 40, 50,000 yard pass. So he got a late start to the NFL. So we have these examples of quarterbacks having a slow start to their career. I mean, Drew Brees is another guy. Tom Brady. We just brought up Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't even slated to be a starter. Mm-hmm. He took advantage of a situation and he immediately made an impact, and he never relinquished that. So we got all these guys that sit up here talking about, we need to get a guy, a Bryce Young, we need to get CJ Stroud. Like, at the end of the day, it comes down to the player. And this is where I think the Falcons got away from what they typically have done, is building the right foundation as a team. So when a guy goes down, somebody can step up immediately. And this is the reason why I think Deion Jones is still here. This is why I think Grady is still here. You got to set that foundation first to make sure it's like, all right, this guy gone. If he doesn't develop well, I can't get rid of Deion. I can't get rid of a Grady yet, because Marlon Davidson isn't developing well. If I ship Deion off, I got to make sure Rashawn Evans, Michael Walker, and Troy Anderson develop. So we got to give these guys time to develop as players and not be so quick to just, all right, we got this guy, let's get rid of him. Because these guys may not develop.
Let me give you some examples. Patrick Mahomes is the perfect example. He wasn't an immediate starter. If you looked at his college tape, you see the skill set as far as him throwing the football, but he wasn't very successful. He had time to develop. The quote unquote GOAT Tom Brady was average at best coming into the NFL. That's why he got drafted in the 6th round. Drew Brees was a 2nd round pick for a reason. So that's why I said it just comes down to Ritter. Like I said, it just comes down. Ritter is not flashy. That's the thing. He's not flashy. That's another thing. He's not flashy.
He's a Matt Ryan clone. I know people ain't want to hear that, but he's a Matt Ryan clone. You don't look at his game and say, wow, he's fast, or wow, he got a big arm, or wow, his accuracy. He just gets the job done.
Right. And then you forget that he really didn't have nothing to work with outside of damn Alec Pierce all on that team. So, yeah. But we gotta $2 super chat.
$2.
He said, I think Fred Butt said, I think Ritter starts. He's special. And like I said, it's his job to win. He has an opportunity to win the job. Because we can't say that Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are guaranteed neither.
Mm-hmm.
What do we always say about quarterbacks that come out of Alabama, quarterbacks that come out of Ohio State? Now, I'm not saying that you ain't got that many success stories. You really don't have that many success stories because why? We don't know. We don't know.
Right.
Bryce Young and CJ Stroud could dip this year. They could play absolute garbage this year. And then what's going to be the story? Y'all still want them if they play terrible? Remember, this upcoming draft, before the season started, who was the number one quarterback prospect that was supposed to went into this draft this year? Do y'all remember who that number one quarterback prospect was?
Spencer Rattler.
Oh man, wow. Yeah, ooh boy. He fell off the earth, bro.
It was Spencer Rattler was supposed to have been the number one quarterback prospect in this year's draft class.
Mm-hmm.
He got benched for a freshman after the fifth game. It ended up transferring to South Carolina at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Bo Nix was another guy too. Bo Nix started off.
Please.
I forgot about my bad, dude. My bad.
You good? I call him bitch Trubisky, but yeah, they the same person.
Yeah. Look. It was supposed to be Spencer Rattler, Sam Howell, Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
This was before the season started. Spencer Rattler got benched and transferred to South Carolina. Bo Nix and transferred to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Howell got picked in the 4th or 5th round or something. 5th round or some shit like that.
Man, I like Bo Nix too. That's the weird I like him, but he's just so his decision making is just, bro. It leave you just like, bro, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
He do too much. He just do too much. He's not a bad quarterback. He just does way too much. He does too much, man. He don't know when the play is over. He don't know how to lay the fight another down. That's the biggest problem.
He really doesn't.
Right. And like I said, this is why we always say next year, like I said, Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are not a damn guarantee out here. If that's the case, if you was waiting on those two, you wouldn't even draft a quarterback this year. But you drafted one. Arizona Cardinals picked a quarterback in the first round 2 years in a row. Where they could have used one of those first round picks to help better the team in a way, either a pass rusher or a wide receiver or something like that. You used it on 2 quarterbacks. At the end of the day, bro, we, like I said, and that's why I said I like this Desmond Ridder pick even more because I know people hate it. And usually when people hate a pick, they usually do damn good. So I'm rocking with it.
I just want to piggyback on one more thing that y'all were saying about this whole quarterback thing before we move on. And it goes back to what we were saying when Matt Ryan was here. I just don't believe in, like, everybody thinks I'm hating. I'm not hating on Desmond Ridder. My thing is I want to put him in a position where he can succeed. Like we talked about Matt Ryan, we talked about Michael Vick. And what we kept saying last year, fellas, we kept saying when everybody wanted a quarterback, when Justin Fields was coming out, our biggest issue was the team is not built around him yet.
Right.
The reason I want Desmond Ridder to sit this season, no matter how the season's panning out, whether we're 0-16 or 17, or whether we're a team vying for the playoffs, is you give guys like Drake London. He'll be going into year 2 next year, so he'll have some NFL experience. You give this offensive line another year to gel. We don't know what we got on defense. You give this defense a chance to continue to grow. You don't want to throw a rookie quarterback into a situation where we're kind of in a retool. You want to drop a quarterback. Like when we dropped Matt Ryan on the Falcons, when we drafted him, you had Michael Turner that he could lean on. You had a solid offensive line. You had Roddy White. You had veterans on the team. Right now, we're a young football team. So you don't need a young leader. You need a veteran, grizzled veteran out there with these young guys to help them develop. That's the biggest thing. And that's why I talked about on What's the Word, Dirty Bird. Like the biggest thing is right now for the Falcons is development. That's the key to everything is player development. We got to develop these guys. So throwing Ritter out there right now doesn't benefit him. It's not that he's not a good player. To be honest, I don't think he, like, as much as we keep saying it's going to be a competition, I really don't think that he really has a fair chance, to be completely honest with you guys, to be the starter. Because Marcus Mariota already knows the playbook. He already has the leg up. He's been with Arthur Smith. I said this in my video I did about the quarterbacks. Right after Matt Ryan we got traded Matt Ryan. Not a couple days later, who was coming into the Atlanta Falcons facility? Marcus Mariota. Like they had him on speed dial. That was for a reason. A lot of the times, a lot of these guys we're seeing that the Falcons are bringing in, these Tennessee Titans players and these Chicago Bears veterans, are to teach these young guys and help develop these young guys. That's it. That's the reason why they're on 1 and 2 year deals. So let's just be real. It goes back to what we've been saying on all of our shows. It's no hate against any quarterback. Justin Fields, Brett Favre, whoever it is coming in, Peyton Manning. Go look at those guys' rookie seasons. None of those guys played well. Go look at how many picks Peyton Manning threw in his rookie season. Go look at how many picks Terry Bradshaw threw in his rookie season. It's no reason for us to put out there this first year for what? Like, what are we going to gain by doing that? Other than we got a rookie quarterback playing. We're not going to gain anything. So to be honest with you guys, playing him in year one, game one, all I think you're going to do is hurt his confidence. Like, he's going to really be, even though he's the leader and all of that, and he's talking and saying the right things, if he goes out there and gets beat up, go look at a guy like David Carr with the Texans that got beat up early in his career with no weapons around. It destroyed him. Let's be real. It just destroyed his career. So,
but go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. I'm about.
No, let me just real quick. But this is the reason why I made the video on Frank Bush earlier today. Like they're not going to be putting guys. They're not going to force guys out there unless, injury or something that injury happens. Because even he said with Troy Anderson, I know everybody want Deion gone. And I know they want to make sure the young guy or the guy that they bring in, he immediately sees the field. But they said even with Troy Anderson, there is a process. They're not going to throw it. They did the same thing last year with Richie Grant. Richie Grant had to get to a point where he had to prove to them that he understands the playbook. So you guys, you have to watch the entire videos. All right, I'm going through every article. We're going through D-Les. We're going through all these guys. Torrey McElhaney. We're going Scott Bear. And I'm dissecting these interviews so you guys, you don't have to read. I'll read for you, okay? I do it for you. You don't have to read. I will do it for you. Watch the videos so you will understand, okay? So you understand what exactly is happening.
I think what the issue is, we fell into what we describe today's society as a microwave society. It's all about the instant success. We want instant impact. Not knowing that a lot of these teams that have this elongated success, a lot of these teams that got elongated success, I'm not talking about once every 4 or 5 years. We talking about like continuous success. They don't rush guys out there right away. That's what, like Jude said, like Mike said, you brought veterans here for a reason. You got a lot of young guys on this squad. And they essentially brought in veterans at every position on this team. So we gotta get out of this notion that if the guy doesn't start immediately, then he's an automatic failure. The game don't work like that, bro. I grew up watching football where some guys didn't even see the field until year 3.
Oof, yeah. Like I said, we just named one of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's considered the GOAT.
Yeah. Like you said, Patrick Mahomes sat a whole year. Now, if you had this mindset where if he doesn't start right away, then he's garbage, y'all would not have gave Patrick Mahomes a chance if that went down that situation. Tom Brady, just like that. Trey Lance, just like that. The book is still out on Trey Lance, but we just saying as far as the situation.
And what are all those quarterbacks you just said or just named haven't had in common? All of those guys went to a good situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Chiefs were winning games. They were making the playoffs year after year after year.
Right.
The Patriots, they had a good defense. They had a good coaching staff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers. The Packers are one of the best organizations in football. So you had those guys. It's like you're not dropping them. You weren't dropping them on a super young team with no proven players. Basically, you dropping them into a good situation where it was like a microwave situation because you dropped them on a team that was great already. So basically, they were just like icing on the cake. They weren't the savior, like rescue this franchise. They were being dropped in situations where it's like the defense was built. You got offensive weapons. You got a great coaching staff. You just icing on the cake. Similar to Ben Roethlisberger. He was another guy. When he came in the league, he wasn't the Ben Roethlisberger, the Hall of Famer that he is. Year 1, he had the Jerome Bettis. He had the Willie Parkers, and then a solid defense. So you had him. It's just like, okay, third down, you make a short pass or here and there. But first 2 downs, we're going to run the ball. We're going to put you in third and manageable. You throw the ball to the tight end on a hook route, give us a quick first down. Like it was not go out there and get 300 yards, 400 yards every single week. It don't work that way.
Yeah, so we just got to get out this mindset of, and like I said, everybody's trying to rush the process. You can't rush the process. The process is going to be the process. These guys got to learn. Because if you throw somebody out there that don't know what the hell they're doing, it takes a special person that got to go out there and do it immediately. You got to have that special something. But that's once every blue moon, though.
Oh, like I said, man, I forgot about Steve McNair sitting too. Like he sat behind Chris Chandler.
Yeah. Michael Vick sat behind Chris Chandler too. Like I said, like Drew said, Mariota knows the system. He knows what Arthur Smith wants. It's basically Mariota's job to lose. He's not a bum. We keep talking about this guy like he's 36, 37 years old. This dude is only 28 years old. He can still start, do whatever, but he can translate what Arthur Smith wants to Desmond Ridder effortlessly because he knows what he wants.
I want to make a video on. I'm going to expand this. I'll actually work on this tonight, and I will drop this. But I'm going to give you guys a scenario that I'm thinking what could happen if Mariota ends up being a very good quarterback. And I think you guys are going to love this. Like, trust me. I'm not going to say it now because we got some people that's watching it, and they might steal the idea. But I think y'all going to love this. So stay tuned for tomorrow. I promise you're going to love this. Because if he ends up being a very good quarterback, I guarantee y'all going to like what I got to say.
Because like you said, with Ben Roethlisberger, like you said, Ben Roethlisberger, his rookie year, yes, he went 13-0. But they was running that rock, boy. They asked him not to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, the Steelers was a running football team, and they play defense.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cost us the game.
Things we struggled to do last year, K Styles, is run the ball and play good defense. We want to put a rookie quarterback in. Look,
Hey, dude.
make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Oh my
We
God,
suck at
dude.
running the ball. We suck at playing defense, but a quarterback gonna save us, help us.
Oh boy. Right.
But Lord Jesus.
Right. Y'all want to throw him in the mix when we struggle with everything every other quarterback had that day. I'll make it make sense, dude. Oh man.
That's it. You still trying to build an identity with this team. This team's still trying to find itself.
Mm-hmm.
They got the idea is there. It's just about bringing the players in there.
Look, before we segue, I know we've been stuck on this topic, but I kind of wanted to piggyback on something that Mike said about Kyle Shanahan that JT was talking about last night when he was talking about him being great with quarterbacks. No, the thing about the Shanahans, both Kyle and his father, Mike Shanahan, they understand the importance of the running game that helps the quarterback. That's the biggest thing with the Shanahans, is they understand any team that he coaches, Kyle Shanahan, everything is predicated off the run. The West Coast scheme is predicated off the run and play action. We've seen him with any running back. He can get any running back off the street. Elijah Mitchell, now that he has, I think, like a 5th round pick. I don't care who's in the backfield for the 49ers. They're going to rush for 1,000 yards. The same thing when he was here with Devontae Freeman, Coleman. I don't care who you put in that backfield. He understands. He has one of the best systems when it comes to running backs running the football. And that's what helps the quarterback. So, yeah, your quarterback going to play well because you're going to run the football. Your offensive line is going to play well. So, yeah, most quarterbacks that he has does look, he's not a quarterback guru. He's excellent at drawing up plays in the running game, which makes the quarterback job easy or easier. So I think that's the biggest misconception with Kyle Shanahan, which he is. I consider him an offensive mastermind. He is a good, offensive mind, but he's not a quarterback whisperer. He's just great at drawing up running plays. And then when you key in on that run, then that's when he hits you over the top. That's what Kyle Shanahan does best.
I was about to say, as all the players that got grounded in the dirt. As all the players that got grounded into the dirt because of it. Boy, you might well. Yeah, he's a great play caller, but boy, he overuses the shit out of people.
Look, let me say this. Let me add on to this too. Like what he said about Kyle Shanahan. Like people don't realize his system gets his quarterback hurt, and he gets him hit a lot because he's not thinking about pass protection. Kyle Shanahan is never really thinking about pass protection. He's using the running game to be the offensive line pass protection or help in pass protection. Reason why I say that is because people don't realize Matt Ryan was one of the most hit quarterbacks in 2016. He was one of the most hit quarterbacks.
They didn't say he was hit like 210 times that year.
Mm-hmm. In the MVP season. So no, he's not a quarterback guru. Does not allow his quarterback to get hit. This is why Peyton Manning is, and why they surrounded him. If you go back and look at the Indianapolis Colts early years, and but they had like 3 or 4. They had Tom Moore, they had Bruce Arians, they had somebody else I forget. I think Greg Knapp was, I forget who it, but they had a lot of that's another guy that's speaking. But they had like 3 or 4 guys that are now offensive coordinators and very good coordinators in the league on that same team. So they surrounded him with a bunch of talent. So at the end of the day, we talk about how we're going to develop these players. Well, you got to put excellent coaches around them. You got to have an excellent system. You have to have an idea of where you're going. And there's, again, I keep saying we sound like broken records saying this, but This is the reason why the Falcons failed, because from year after year, we all know that we had no clue what we was going to be doing, the zone run or we're going to be a power running scheme. We had no freaking clue what the offensive line was going to be doing. And you expect a guy, as bad as his career was, but you wonder why a guy like Peter Kunz is failing, because you throwing him in a system he doesn't fit. You constantly changing the system. You can't do that with offensive line. You can't do that with defensive line. You gotta have a plan mapped out for those guys.
Mm-hmm. And we gotta look at it. And then, like you said, and I think we look at Cincinnati's success last year, them getting to the Super Bowl. I think we put a little bit too much stock into that.
Way too much stock, Kate.
I think we put too much stock into it. And like I said, even I take accountability for what I said about that too, about, well, Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl. Carrie, what's going on? What was Carrie? I forgot who did that song. But appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody joining us as well, man. We definitely appreciate it. But yeah, I think we kind of put too much stock into that, because a team could be good for 1 year. The real test to see if Cincinnati really is for real is going to be this year and next year.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Joe Burrow was the most sacked quarterback last year, and they got to the Super Bowl. But what did Mike just say? But they run the ball very well.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Cincinnati in the Super Bowl? Once they stopped running the ball, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
That whole offense went
Aaron
to shit.
And Vic.
That whole offense went. There was no more Jamar Chase after that. Once they stopped running the ball, there was no Jamar Chase doing anything. There was no. You got Tyler Boyd out there dropping passes.
Mm-hmm.
So, regardless on what the popular belief is with Cincinnati, you're not gonna know what this team really made of until after this season and next season. Everybody hit the damn like button. Everybody hit that damn like. Everybody bitch slap that like button for us.
Come on, like we got less than 30. Like, good God, we got about 100 people in here.
You got 100 people. It should be at least 50 likes on this damn thing. At least.
At the very.
We try to get the 50. At least get the 50% up in this, man. You're killing us, man. You're killing us, but we appreciate you watching. But hey, only thing I'm gonna say, man. If you wishing for bad, you're going to get bad results. And then be complaining about why there's bad results. You're speaking it into damn existence. Sometimes we just need to shut the hell up and just let the process play out.
That's it. We don't damn know. How many times we don't say that? We have no clue. If you would have told me that Deion Jones, when we drafted him, Keanu Neal will have, like, the way his career started, he was on pace to be one of the best strong safeties in the league. And then bam, his career came to an end of really just one injury. So these are the things that we talk about. Development is key. If you don't wait for these guys and properly train these guys, things like this happen in the NFL, where injuries come along. So this is the reason why we got to make sure that Desmond Ridder is properly trained, because we don't know if he's going to stay healthy. We don't know what's going to happen. You got to properly train these.
Let me ask y'all a question. I'm going to use a scenario here. Let's say you purchase a home and you want your home built from the ground up. Are you gonna ask Tyrone down the street to build that house for you? He has no experience whatsoever. I'm asking the people here in the chat right now. Do you want your house built by somebody that has no experience in construction? While we doing that, let's go ahead and play the waiting music.
Right, case.
Let's play the waiting music.
No, I don't. No.
While we doing that, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button, hit that thing, and share this stuff with the boys over here, the heavy hitters. We're waiting on everybody to answer the damn question. Do you want your house built by somebody that has no experience in construction or planning? Hell no. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell no. I only got one answer. I got two answers. I got two answers. I got three answers.
Christy, we got another lady up in here, man. We got too many hard legs up in here. We need some more ladies. We got Teacher Red Watson. We got Christy. We got Carrie. It's too many dudes up here. We need some ladies in here.
Hey man, we need to get all the females.
We need some estrogen in here, okay?
Yeah, we need what? Hey, one of these shows, Christy, Carrie, y'all gonna get on here with us and talk some football here.
Yes. It don't gotta be long, just for a few minutes.
Hey, Delilah as well. You come in here and speak some football. All right, so we done with that. So it's a whole. I see some hell no's. I see some nope. I saw somebody say, I'm asking Juan and Manuel to build my house. So we got a fuck no from ATL Leo. So wow. The reason, yeah, the quiet storm. Yeah, nah, this is the heavy hitters power hour. You got nose, yeah. But the reason why I'm asking that is you got, like I said, you got to put the right players there to get the process started. We're not just talking about the quarterback position. We're talking about Troy Anderson, the linebacker position. This is why you still got a Deion Jones. This is why Michael Walker is getting a lot of looks, because these guys have been in this system before. These guys have had experience in this league. Now, when you bring in a guy like a Troy Anderson, you got Nick Kawakawak. You still got him on the damn team. These guys all got experience. Hey, man, shoot. It takes a special rookie to come in right away and do it. Mm-hmm. And it takes the right team to do it, too. That's the other thing we're not talking about. Ju said it earlier. It takes the right team. If you have a team that's already there, you can take that chance. But when your team ain't there yet, this is why you got a lot of veterans. To ease the transition. That's a little game for y'all right there. That goes into life too. But before we end the show, we got about a good 10 minutes left. We're gonna do a little Q&A here, man. So people go ahead and get your questions ready, get y'all heavy hitters questionnaires ready. Let me know if I need to play the get your questions ready music here. Do I need to play that?
Well, you play it, Kay. You just talking about veterans, and I always point back to the 2016 Falcons because that was a team that should have won a Super Bowl. If you look at that team, who you had on the veterans you had on that team, in every room you had a veteran. You had Jonathan Babineau. You went out and got the White Free. People forget you had Sean Weatherspoon that we brought back just for that reason, to be one of those veterans. If you guys remember the first game of the season, I was at the first game of the season when we played Tampa in 2016.
Yeah.
And we got killed by Jameis Winston. All the quarterbacks Jason talked about last year, you had Paul Warlow, you had Sean Weatherspoon that started that game, and we got killed. But they were there to bring along Debo, to bring along Devondre Campbell. So you had those veteran guys like you talked about. So that's what it's all about. You got to have those veteran guys that can help these guys, these young guys come along. You can't just drop these young guys and expect because they were good in college that you're going to be able to be good in the NFL. Because really, it all comes down to scheme. We know that. We talk about matchups and things of that nature, but what did they say when they first came here? Terry Fontenot. We don't just want great athletes, and even Dean P said that. We want guys that are smart, not just great athletes. Because you can be smart all you want, but if you're out of position, doesn't matter how athletic you are if you're out of position. And that's something that I think that's the reason we didn't see a guy like Richie Grant last season a lot, is because he has the athleticism, but he doesn't have it between the ears yet. He doesn't have it here. You got to know the playbook. You got to understand situational football. If you don't understand situations, if you don't understand the different nuances of the game, being athletic, that's going to fade at some point. You got to understand the game, what teams are trying to do to you on certain down and distances and things of that nature. So that's the reason why you got to keep these veterans, around, so they can teach and help bring these young guys along. Eventually, these young guys are going to take over, but before that, you got to have these old guys, these elder statesmen, teach them the game.
Man, we got a question here, and I kind of had a feeling this was going to come up. As we already know, Cooper Kupp got his extension today. $110 million extension. What so is this pretty much resetting the wide receiver market here a little bit? How do y'all feel about this extension? Me personally, I mean, he won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl MVP, so it doesn't surprise me at all.
What's the guaranteed? Oh, like
$75 million.
I think it's like 75, 80 guaranteed.
I
don't think that really set the market like that. I don't know. I gotta look at it again, but
no, I don't think it's setting the market. To be honest, I like Cooper Kupp, but I'm just worried about his health. He can't keep this up. It's impossible to keep up that type of pace. He's he's one of those Julio Jones pace, and we know what happened to Julio Jones after Shanahan ran him straight into the ditch, the ground, through the earth. He did a Super Saiyan. He did a Dragon Ball Z, drive a motherfucker through the earth. That's what he did to Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones had like 138 receptions, 800 yards or something like that, and like 200 and something. And like the dude had like 400 receptions in like 3 or 4 year span. So they really ran Julio through the ground, and that's what got Julio to the point where he is now. He can't stay healthy. So I'm worried about Cooper Kupp's health. You can't keep that up. That's an impossible stretch. So like even the great Jerry Rice never had that stretch where he had well over 200. These numbers are getting to the point where wide receivers are getting like 250 targets a year. That is crazy when you think about it. Because one thing about wide receivers that people never really pay attention to, you gotta have great cardio. Which means your ass got to be running all the time, or them damn hamstring and them knees gonna fall apart. So this is the reason why I'm saying I'm worried about Cooper Kupp's health. It's gonna come to a screeching halt. I fear when. He's deserving, but if they keep playing that playing him the way that they playing and targeting him the way they target him, leaning on him, they're gonna have some problems in the next couple of years. Cooper Kupp gonna have some problems. You can't keep up with that pace.
So you said what you're saying is they essentially do what they did to Todd Gurley and just run him into the ground.
Run him to the ground like they did Gurley, pretty much. Ironic though. Ironic.
It is really ironic. Let me see. I was just looking at some. Yeah. Let me see. 2014, 2015. But Julio Jones, yeah, he had 240 receptions. He got targeted 366 times just in that 2 year span.
Come on, bro. That's a lot of targets.
Let's look up. Let's look at Cooper Kupp, shall we? Cooper Kupp. It was pretty much almost. Hold on. 145 receptions for 1,947 yards. Good God. Yeah, so so he had almost 200. Let me see, he had 179 receptions for 2,200 yards, regular season plus playoffs. That's a lot of goddamn hits he taking.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cutting. That's a lot of cutting for them knees.
Mm-hmm. I don't think people realize that. People so infatuated with numbers, but I'm worried about them.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
What you got on that?
I think he's deserving of it. You know, I think he earned it. The only thing that bugs me with Cooper Kupp is just all of the talking heads saying he's like the best wide receiver in the league. That's the only thing that bothers me. It's like, yeah, he's productive, but let's be real. Like, we've seen Wes Welker. We've seen these guys that catch a whole bunch of passes. Like, no disrespect, but I'm just like, he's not the best wide receiver in the game. Like, let's stop comparing him to Julio. Let's stop paying him to Megatron. I think the other day they said Skip Bayless said he's better than Megatron. Like, let's stop comparing him to these guys. Like, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want you to just run that by me again.
Yeah. Skip Bayless, from what I heard, said on the Undisputed that Cooper Kupp is better than Megatron. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're looking at numbers. I tell people all the time, there you go. That's the face right there. I was really looking for.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Let me get a hot.
Hold on, I got a better one for you. I got a better one for you.
Go ahead and finish your point.
That's the only thing that bothers me. I mean, and like I said, I'm not a hater. I think Cooper Kupp is a really good wide receiver. I think he's like a top 10, maybe top 15 wide receiver in the game. But is he top 3, 4, 5? I don't really think he is. Like, we get infatuated with numbers, and that's what Mike was just talking about. If you're targeted a whole bunch, you're gonna catch a bunch of catch a bunch of passes. Let's just be real. Like, I don't think we ever compared or thought that Wes Welker was the best wide receiver in the game. When he was leading every year, they ran him into the ground. He was one of those guys that dealt with concussions and things of that nature when he was with the Patriots and when he was with the Broncos, and that pretty much ended his career. And that's why he was wearing that big old helmet, like an astronaut helmet, because he was taking all of them that thing on hits in the slot. Like, let's be real. Like, so let's stop with this. Cooper Kupp is the best. Like, come on. Let's be real. Numbers don't tell the whole story. Yeah, he's good, and it's no disrespect to him, but he's, like I said, he deserves the contract. But that's just what bothers me, is when people say he's the best in the league. Like, let's stop with that. Like, we know just off the eye test, he's not the best wide receiver in the league. Like, he just plays in a system that favors him, and he's targeted a bunch. And he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a Pro Bowl player. He's a good player. To me, he's just not up there with them elite guys. When you start talking Jerry Rice, when you start talking Julio Jones, Terrell Owens, Like, he's not in those guys' category. Like, let's remove Cooper Kupp. It's levels to this. You're not on that tier. Let's be real.
Hold on. Say that one more time. He said that.
Bro, he said it. Boy, you on fire, boy.
He said Cooper.
That man said it's levels to this. Woo, boy. That ain't the truth.
I mean, we are talking about the same Skip Bayless that keeps talking about Baker Mayfield was the best quarterback in the NFL in 2017, right? We talk about the same one that thinks Tim Tebow should have been a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The same coke sniffing Skip Bayless.
Skill.
Hold on. I gotta do this right. Hold on. Jew. He didn't say that. Tell me he did not just say that.
Look, I said it like this. I didn't hear him say it, but it was on all over Twitter. They were saying that he said that Megatron, he was better than Megatron. I said he's not even in the same, like, they're on two different planets. Let's be real. When you start talking about goats of the, wide receiver goats, Megatron is up there with the goats. Rice is up there with the goats. Julio, T.O., Randy Moss, don't disrespect those guys. I don't care what your numbers say. Wes Walker at one point had numbers like those guys. Like, if you go to Wes Walker's numbers right now, he was catching over 100. I think he had like over 100 catches, like 3-4 seasons in a row. But at that time, nobody was comparing him to Randy Moss. Randy Moss was his teammate in New England. Nobody was ever comparing Randy Moss to Wes Walker, like saying he was on that level with Randy Moss. But it's like now everything's about the numbers, and they want to elevate these guys because it's all about selling jerseys. We know what it's about. It's about selling the NFL. They want to elevate these guys. It's like disrespecting those guys before. The guys before, you disrespecting these guys when you start comparing these guys that just started doing it. It's a reason why Mike always talks about consistency. The guy had one good season, we automatically elevate all. Like, you will never hear me say Kyle Pitts is better than Tony Gonzalez. He just started. Like, it's not even fair to put him on in that same category. You talk about GOATs. Like, this dude he's only been in the league one season. Like, yeah, he has the ability to possibly get there, but it's no sense to me talking about it right now because he got a long career ahead of him. And I feel the same thing with Cooper Kupp. Let's see what he do this year. Let's see if he can do it year in, year out. Because that's what Julio did. Julio had a 10-year span where he was like, his numbers was crazy. Cooper Kupp only been doing this for how many seasons? Let's be real. Come on.
And this is where I got to rant a little bit. But a lot of these damn teams are they're building a player. They hyping the player up by showing these guys. We see it year after freaking year. Well, you see guys like Justin Jefferson. Not to say that these guys aren't talented, but they're getting targeted. We had Terrence Mathis on this show. He said, if I was getting 200 targets a year, my numbers would have looked the same. So when we talk about these receivers, these running backs, he rushed for 1,500 yards for 15. Well, he got 400 damn carries a year. So it's easy to, I said it before, it's easy to recoup or when you talk about receivers like Julio Jones, I can get those 1,600 yards from Julio. The thing is, I may not be able to do it with one player, but I can redeem that. I can make those same 200, those two, draft a rookie. He gets 16. He'll have 600, and a starter like a Muhammad Sanu. I know Muhammad Sanu when he in his day could get you 809. Those 1,600 yards right there. I can get 1,620 touchdowns just by drafting two guys, signing a guy that's a mid-level wide receiver, and then drafting a wide receiver in the third round to get you about 600, 700 yards a week. I could get you 600. So the numbers aren't the issue. It's the skill that you're missing. I'm not going to get that physicality from Julio Jones. I'm not going to get that Deshaun Jackson ability to just burn everybody deep. I'm not going to get that ability to run away and just wreak havoc on defenses like Michael Vick. But I can get those 1,000 yards that Michael Vick does. So I say this all the time. This is the reason why I be so pissed off when everybody be so quick to crown guys like Jalen Ramsey the best. He ain't the best. I'm gonna say this right now. AJ Terrell is the best. He stopped everybody that was in front of him. Jalen didn't do that.
With no pass rush.
200 yards. 200 yards he gave up. Okay? And he had picks on top of it. He stopped everybody that lined up against AJ Terrell that year. Didn't do a damn thing. But we labeling Jalen Ramsey the best. Why? Because he got $100 million? Or he got the picks? Why? The guys in front of him beat him. Did nobody beat AJ Terrell like that? And he played against some very good. We played in the NFC South. Oh, he played against Mike Evans. Oh, we're going to forget about that? Mike Evans was one of the top guys in the league. Why isn't AJ Terrell the number one corner in the league? Please tell me. Oh, it's because he plays for the Atlanta Falcons. That's why he's not the best. I said it. Look at his numbers. You look at PFF, you can look at any stat in the NFL, you can look at the film, and AJ Terrell shut everybody ass down. But we up here talking about Jalen Ramsey the best. Stop it.
I'm going to say this thing with AJ Terrell. If he repeats last season's performance this year, I'm talking about the same as that type of season where he's not giving up nothing. Because if we actually look at the schedule for the Falcons, I think somebody had put it up on Twitter or something. Y'all thought he went against some good receivers last year. He's finna really get tested this year. And if he puts them same numbers up, you could definitely put him as the number one overall corner.
Let me clear this up real quick, K-Styles. This is based on what you guys say. When we talk about guys that have one bad, when he have one good year, because we talk about consistency. But if you want to say, all right, the standard, all right, he had a great year. Well, ain't nobody better than AJ Terrell last year. He got the picks and he had the numbers. Guys lined up in front of him, they did nothing. So it's based on that narrative. One good year. Now, like I said before, nobody had better numbers than him. But since he's a Falcon, he doesn't play with the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody wants to say Jair Alexander and all these other guys. Yeah, they some great corners, but they didn't do what AJ did. That's just facts.
That is true. But let's go ahead and start winding it down here. We're going to get everybody's damn final thoughts here. We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in to this very special edition of the Heavy Hitters on Tuesday. So we definitely appreciate it, man. And I don't know who wants to go ahead and kick off their final thought. Voila. The floor is open.
I'm trying to see what this question said. Hold on.
Oh, I got you right here. Hucklebuck. There you go.
Okay, it says, which phase of the game, defense, offense, special teams, do you think would be the most responsible for the team's success or failure? I guess this year. And I'll let this be my last final word. I want to thank everybody for tuning in as well. But I'm going to just answer his question. We said this numerous times here on the show. It's going to be all of it. Like, you need a good defense, you need offense, you need special teams. We need all of them all of them to play well. Like it's a team. Football is the ultimate team sport. We seen last year in that 49ers and Packers game that special teams touchdown tilted the 49ers into the NFC championship. So it's going to be all the phases of the game. The front office, coaching, defense, offense, special teams. If one of those falls short, that's what usually where the team where you lose the game. We need all of those units to do their part. And just to go back to what K Styles was talking about, because I wanted to jump on when JT was talking about the Bengals and Joe Burrow, and I'll close with this. I think another thing that gets overlooked with the Bengals, and this is something you got to go check out with the 2016 Falcons, explosive plays hides a multitude of sins. When you're making big plays, and Jamar Chase was one of those guys that he had a lot of. Look at how many explosive plays that Bengals team made last year.
Oh, wait a minute, boy! He put some stank on that boy.
Stank on
that boy. Good Lord! Ooh. Dude,
I'm telling you guys, if you guys look in the playoff, look at Jamar Chase. A lot of people don't look at that Bengals team. Them explosive plays is what covers up those multitude of sins. When you're not good on defense or you're making mistakes, and we seen that in 2016, and LaTravis will be proud. He talks about this all the time when LT comes on here. He talks about that 2016 defense wasn't great. We talk about it all the time. It was mainly timely stops and turnovers at the right time. They weren't playing like we were just hitting on all cylinders at the right time. And that's what that Bengals team, they hit their stride. And I tell people this all the time. Winning a Super Bowl, you don't only have to be good, but it takes some luck as well. Meaning an injury here, a big play there. Ask the Giants. David Tyree, catch off the helmet. It takes plays like that win you Super Bowls. So at the end of the day, I'm going to leave it with that. Is we need everybody to do their part, and we need a little bit of luck. Let's just be real. Every Super Bowl team has those one or two plays. The tuck rule, every single team gets that break. When you're least expecting it, it's like, oh, man, a big play happens here or there, a huge injury happens, and boom, that catapults a team. Last year in the Super Bowl, that play against the Bengals when they were in the red zone, when they called PI against that linebacker, that's what swung that game for the Rams. They called PI. Next thing you know, next couple plays, Cooper Kupp with the game-winning touchdown. So it's plays like that, simple as that. And that's why I say you need everything. It's always what I say, K-Styles, 2 or 3 plays in the game that shift the game. And I'll leave it at that.
Now, I was going to say that the play that changed, there was 2 plays that changed that Super Bowl game. One was the Nike slides.
Penalties.
How the hell you going to run on the field and celebrate with your teammates with some Nike slides on, bro, for one thing? Bird and Hargreaves, your ass need to get slapped twice for that.
Oh, he going to get cut. Don't worry. He probably already got cut.
And the other play was when they made Aaron Donald. They pissed Aaron Donald off. That was the other one. I was like, yep.
Leave that man alone.
All right.
Like Mike Tyson, you do not want to miss those. Leave those guys alone.
Exactly. I guess I'll go ahead. And go next. Well, now, Mike, go ahead and go next because I got to close it out the right way.
Well, I want to say this. I think this is important to say to the fans, okay? We want to get one thing clear, right? I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, but we're here for y'all. This ain't the Mad Mike show. This ain't the K-Star show. This ain't the Juice show. The heavy hitters are here to make sure that you guys know everything possible, not to drive a narrative. We don't have a narrative. We support our team through thick and thin, and we try our best when we spend sometimes all day looking for the answers and putting these shows together, watching film, watching other content creators. So we here for you guys, all right? So when we ask you guys to leave these questions, we're not just talking about Falcon stuff. Oh, we go deep. Oh, believe that. We watch all teams. We in the know in history. We can go back. We can go back pretty far with our football knowledge. So Like we said before, you don't have to be an Atlanta Falcons fan to enjoy this platform. All right. And one thing, I got to do this. Why am I doing that? That damn Ronald Acuna, boy, I swear, Ronald Acuna, he's just so. Ronald Acuna, he's so energetic. Like I used to be in baseball, really, but Ronald Acuna, he just make me want to watch baseball. Just so energetic, just a good, fun, loving guy, and like I just it gets me excited to sit down and watch this guy play. It reminds me. It reminds me of Steph Curry when I watch the NBA. You know those guys just gonna have fun. They're not gonna be out here yelling, screaming at their teammates. They're gonna play ball and they're gonna have fun. That's what I like. So, like I said before, we are not your enemy, people. Come holler at us. Friday Night Madness is for you guys. That's your show. You can come on, speak your piece. You will be heard. I promise you that.
Hey,
Before you
man.
go, I just want to say one other thing. Since Mike said that we don't know it all as well, I learned from everybody on this panel. We learned from the fans. So I appreciate you guys' questions and comments. So definitely leave your likes, your shares, your comments on the channel. We appreciate it. Like we said, we ain't your enemy. We want to hear what you guys got to say. And I ain't taking shots at JT neither. It's all love. But I did want to join last night when he was talking about it. I ain't taking no shots. Yeah, we ain't taking those shots. I ain't shooting no shots at him. Like I said, we good, man. He reminded me a lot of myself, and I really enjoyed him last night coming on the show. But like you said, we enjoy you guys' takes, and we enjoy hearing from you guys. Like, we don't know it all. That's why we always say, K-Style, what we say? We don't what?
We don't damn know.
That's it.
All right. So y'all know what happens now. Kick it. So my final take for the night is, where was all those fans that wanted Deshaun Watson? Why they're not talking about this situation now and what's going on? We said it before when the situation happened. The issue wasn't that we didn't want him. You didn't want the distraction. Always seems like there's more shit coming out every week about this whole situation. You done gave up $230 million guaranteed to a guy you don't know that's gonna play next year. So the Falcons did dodge a bullet. So as Devontae here says, 24 to 66 reasons why. This is why we say it ain't always the best thing to go chasing gold, because sometimes it's fool's gold. So, for all my Atlanta Falcon fans that tuned in with us, we definitely appreciate y'all. Now make sure y'all continue to support Mad Mike Sports, Jew Talk Sports, and your boy Six Man K Styles. Now, as I get off these ones and twos, I'm gonna leave y'all with this very special message that we got here. As your boys over here, the heavy hitters, we go by, y'all remember Kurt Angle had the 3 eyes? We live by the 3 U's. Usefulness, unpredictable, and universal. which means we go all over the world, baby. So come on the train here, because the heavy hitters is here to play. We here, and we ain't going nowhere. So until next time, we ain't here to play. We here to stay. You ain't got to go home.
But you gotta get done by the head.
Deuces.